Hello, my name is Amy Turner. I'm the owner of Sweet Legacies and the chef here. I just want to show you how simple it is to prepare our scones. Many of you say it just can't possibly be that simple. I don't know how to cook. I can't do it. I just want to show you how easy it is. Okay, I promise you, it's so easy. Okay, I've actually been known to offer a money-back guarantee every once in a while because I promise you this is really easy. Okay, first of all, the hardest part is probably taking the ribbon off the bag. Okay. So just open it up. Some of these are going to be double bagged, so just kind of look in there and see if it's double bagged or not. It might not be double bagged. We have changed our packaging, so this is the basic packaging though that comes like this. Okay. First thing you want to do is empty your bag into your bowl. Super simple. All right. And just want you to know that when you first get your stuff, depending on shipping and how long, maybe it's been on the shelf, hopefully not very long. These do have a good shelf life, but sometimes the heat and humidity, especially during shipping, can cause these cranberries to stick together or any other dried fruit that's in there. So it's good to kind of put your fingers in there preferably, or clean washed hands. You can use a fork, but the easiest way is just to get your hands in there, and some of these cranberries that have kind of stuck together, just kind of unstick them real quick. Run your fingers in there. I don't know if you can see that. My wonderful son Daniel is videotaping. This is not a professional recording, so I hope it works out. We're not movie stars, we're chefs, okay? So here we go. I'm just breaking apart some of these cranberries. There's some really big clumps in there, so I'm just kind of breaking them apart. Alright. So that's pretty simple. Sometimes you may dump your mix in the bowl and there's nothing sticking together at all, and you can just get after it, okay? So wipe off your hands, clear the air, and here we go. So we're going to take heavy whipping cream. Very important that you use heavy whipping cream. If you try to use half and half or milk, it is not going to taste as good, trust me. At least the first time you make these, I want you to try it the right way because you will love the flavor. And you'll love the texture that the heavy whipping cream gives, okay? So we're going to pour the heavy whipping cream in here. We're going to pour 1 cup. Okay, fill it to the top, and then all I want you to do is pour about 3/4 of this cream in the bowl, just approximately. It doesn't have to be exact. Better to be a little under, like maybe 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup, because you can always add more as you go. Then you want to take a very stiff utensil. The best utensil of all is the hands God gave you. They just work wonderfully, but if you really don't like getting your hands messy, pick one of these really stiff devices here. This one's wonderful because it's nice and short. It's easy to work with. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to stir it. Super simple, okay? And as you see, it's starting to kind of come together, stick together just a little bit, okay? Okay, it's all starting to kind of stick. We got it's all kind of separated though in the bowl. As you can see, it's not really forming any kind of major mass in here. It's just kind of all over the place. Can you see that? And as you can see, we have some dry flour here. See that flour that's kind of dry? It's usually lingers in the bottom of the bowl. So you want to kind of uncover that dry flour just a little bit and pour maybe a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons onto that dry flour and just mix that up. Basically, you're just trying to get it to all stick together. Kind of think of your cream as like a glue. You don't want too much of it. You don't want too little. So just going to pour it in until everything starts to kind of come together. Okay, just stirring it. It's getting warm, getting better. Okay, I'm going to pour some on this dry part over here. I've almost used my whole cup. Sometimes it'll take the whole cup. Sometimes it'll take about 3/4 of the cup. Now see how it's starting to come together as a lump? You see that? There we have it. That's what you're wanting. Once it's coming together, coming off the sides of the bowl, and you got one big clump here, that's when you know you're ready. Don't add more cream. If you add too much cream, they're going to be kind of flat scones. They're not going to puff up, and they're going to be really hard to work with. So that's what you're after right there, that lump right there, okay? So now you just scrape that off with your clean hands, okay? And I used almost the whole cup of cream. Doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it does. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, you're going to need a tad more cream than the cup. That's very rare, but it does happen. When that happens, just add a tablespoon at a time, just a little bit, until you get that plump. That's all you're after. Once you get that, put a little bit of flour, not too much, on your countertop, okay, or on some wax paper if you don't want to be messy. grab this clump, just plop it down like that. Very simple. Just turn it around a few times on the flour. Make sure it's not sticking. Move the flour around. You're not really kneading it. You don't want to handle it too much or it becomes tough, okay? So that's pretty much it. And then you're going to flatten it a little bit. This is about 1 inch thick. If you flatten it too much or you try to use a roller and get all fancy, it's not going to be that great. It really doesn't take much work. If you try to work it too hard, it doesn't come out right. So let it be as easy as it is. All right? So now, with the little cream that you probably have left in your cup, if you don't, pour out you a little bit more. Okay? Just maybe a tablespoon or a half a tablespoon. You're going to take a baster. Basters work really well. They come in lots of different forms. These little rubbery ones are my favorite because they're heat resistant. They're easy to wash. You can put them in the dishwasher. You're going to stick that in there and you're just going to paint a little layer on your scone. This is on the top. This is basically a glue for your sugar more than anything. Gives it a little bit of a crunch and a shine and kind of acts as a glue. Then once you do that, just one little layer of that, you're going to take your sugar, which I have a scoop of sugar. It does not have to be exact. You just put how much sugar you want on there. I like about a tablespoon or 2. And I just kind of shake it over the top. If you have a fancy little shaker, that works too. This is the bigger chunks of sugar that you can find. It's not a fine sugar. You can use fine sugar, but I like these big chunks of sugar. It makes a really pretty scone. It holds up well in the heat of the oven. Okay, and you just kind of pat it. That's pretty much it. Is this simple or what? Okay, my hands are really dirty. Okay, so we're gonna cut it once. A long knife is preferred because a long knife you can just make just a few cuts. And then cut this way. Then you're gonna cut this way, just like you're cutting a pizza. In fact, you can use a pizza cutter if you like. Also works good, like this. That works. It's not my favorite. I prefer the knife, but a pizza cutter will work. Okay. Very simple. And then you're just going to put it on your baking tray, just a couple of inches apart. They're beautiful already, aren't they? Wait till you taste them. We actually have some in the oven right now. Going to be out soon. Takes about 15 minutes to bake. But that whole process that we just did, I don't even know what the timer is on that, and I kind of went in slow motion, but it was probably about 5 minutes. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it in probably 3 or 4. It's very, very quick, very simple. There you go, we're done. Thank you very much, and we'll teach you how to make something else. Come back. Thanks.